Amy, no Emmy, no Emmy. Hello Ali, no Emmy, and Noah. I love the three of you and Electra Rye. Thank you so much for all of your support. You four are amazing, and I hope to see you all again very, very soon. Because it's been too long, and we all know it's been too long, and we want to, travel again. Thank you, Electra Rye. First kiss story. I'll tell you that. Sabrina 220892. You're amazing, Sabrina. I love you. Thank you very much for your contributions. Get yourself a bio. Please write something other than from Germany. I want to know how you found the band. I want to know, if and when you've met us. I want to know what your favourite song is from the third EP. I want to know these things about the people that watch our content. My first kiss. Girl Trip. Girl Trip, I watch you guys. Georgia, I watch you. I can't remember. Kate, yes, I do watch Girl Trips. Are you into sports? I love sport. Adore sport. My first kiss. So, my real first kiss, because everyone has a first kiss that doesn't count. My real first kiss. I think I was in year 7, year 8. So I was quite old for a first kiss, I guess. And it was with a girl I really liked. And she had a really old school cinema next to her house. Screen. And you paid £1 for a ticket and £5 for popcorn. It was all in cash and it was all little stubs. A proper old school one. And I really liked her, and she knew I really liked her as well. I wasn't a stud. I am now back then. And we went to see a film. And we kind of just holding hands. It's oh my God, we're finally here. I've done it. I am victorious. Oh, we're lagging, are we? Oh no. Guys, let me know in the comments when the lag has finished. Alana TV as well, I watch you. Right, okay, it's back. Thank you. It's stopped now, it's done. Okay, so my first kiss story. So it was a girl I really liked, and she knew I really liked her, and she had an old school cinema next to her house. So I took her to the cinema, used my pocket money, and we sat at the very back and we watched a film called The Queen. And we started right when two people kind of like each other, and instead of holding hands, it was lagging again. Ugh. It's like someone is telling me not to tell the story. It's not lagging. Alright, I'm going to tell it anyway. Cool. So, when two people like each other but don't really want to admit it because we were both young and kind of inexperienced. And she'd have her hand, she'd my hand would be on the arm. My hand would be on the arm. And she kind of brushed past mine with hers. And literally would send goosebumps up my arm. I was oh my God, this is happening. And then is that better? Let me know You're back. You're back. Guys, just put the word sausage if I'm not lagging anymore. A lot of sausages. Okay, awesome. Right. So it's like sending goosebumps like through me. And then it went from like a stroke of the hand to like her hand would be on top of mine, and then to like holding hands like that. And this had been like a long time coming for me. And she's like my full-on childhood sweetheart. And like her best friend fancied me and asked me out. I was like, I can't because I'm in love with this other girl. And in my head I was like, I properly loved her, but I was young. Right. And then I'd never kissed anyone, and I think she had, but maybe like one person. And it's one of those moments, you know, when your eyes lock and neither of you says anything, but you both kind of know. But it felt like we were there for an eternity. Like, I remember just looking at her, and her looking back, she had these massive eyes. Just staring at her, and she's staring back, and we both kind of like smirked, as if to be like, I never thought we'd be here. And then like, we didn't, you know, like, normally when you kiss, you kind of like hold the face or like put an arm around them or whatever. We didn't, we just held hands. And we like kissed like once. And I remember pulling away and both of us like putting our heads back in our chair and watching the film, and we were kind of like nervously like, like neither of us laughed, but inside, I personally was like, whoa. And then it happened like 4 or 5 times during that film. And then I'm pretty certain I spilt the popcorn, and instead of leaving it, because she was like, oh, it's fine, don't worry about it, I got on the floor and just started picking it all up so that she didn't stand in it when she got up, and she was laughing. The cinema was like pretty empty, so it was a film no one really wanted to see. And then came like probably like 4 or 5 months of me walking her home from school every day, and we just sit in this like little boulevard outside her house, and we just talk. And then as I'd say goodbye, we'd kiss, just like once, and then I'd walk home, and it would be like 5:30, and school would finish at 3:30, so we'd spend 2 hours talking, and I'd get one kiss, and then I'd leave. And I'll never forget, because the cinema was my first kiss, but what in my head was my proper first kiss. I walked her home, and it was pouring down with rain, right? It was pouring down. And I had like a little over-the-shoulder bag, so I didn't have a rucksack, I had like an over-the-shoulder with like a flip-up, like a briefcase. And I remember walking her home, and it was pouring down with rain, and I was holding it over the pair of us, and we were both kind of like huddled in. We both had blazers over our head, trying to stay dry. And the boulevard where we were stood kind of had like treed shelter, but like the middle of it was quite wet. We were both sat under the trees, like trying to stay dry. She was like, go home, Andy, like you'll get ill, you'll get drenched. I was like, no, it's fine, like I want to spend time with you, because we shared classes and stuff, and we were in like similar friendship groups, but we never like spent time together in school. I never asked her out or anything like that. And we just sat and chat, and it must have been like 7 o'clock, like when I was heading home. And we lived like 45 minutes apart, and I walked home from hers, and my mum would always be messaging like, where are you? And I always be like, oh, I stayed behind and did homework and stuff, and little did she know. And then I remember she stepped out into the middle of this boulevard where it was pouring down with rain, and she just started getting soaking wet. I was like, what are you doing? Like, get back in the dry, it's pouring down with rain. She was like, no, come and join me. And she was like, I've always wanted to have like my first kiss in the rain. And I was like, in my head I was like, we've kissed loads, but I was like, I understand what you're saying. This is like the moment we'll both remember as a first kiss. And yeah, we had a kiss in the rain. And yeah, so that happened. And then I feel like in my head, I'd have wanted to be in a relationship with her. And in her head, she wanted to keep it like a secret so no one else got involved. I don't know, maybe she was embarrassed, or maybe she liked the thrill of it, but wasn't as into me as I was to her. And then, for whatever reason, we went on the French exchange together. We were like sneaking around corners, like holding hands when no one was looking, always sit next to each other in the coach. Like putting our hands on each other's knees, and like, back then that was like a huge deal, and no one knew. We'd watch films together. She was a big Newton Faulkner fan, so we used to listen to Newton Faulkner. Went to a Newton Faulkner concert together and stuff. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, she got a boyfriend. Someone beat me to it, asked her out, and she came up to me in the cafe, and she was holding his hand. And he came up to me, and I was like year 8, bear in mind. And he came up to me and was like, look, I know you like her, but I just wanted to ask for your permission. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. Because I hadn't plucked up the courage to do it, and even if I had, I don't know what she would have said. So I never said anything. She knew, but maybe she was just waiting for me to say something. So they stayed together for ages, and then they broke up. And then I was very respectful, and I waited, and this was in like year 9, I want to say. And then I walked her home from school one day, and nothing happened. I walked her home from school another day, and nothing happened. Then she had a paper round, and I brought my bike, and I wheelied her along her paper round, and she was just talking about like how at Christmas she'd get tips from this person and stuff, and she loved doing it, and it was in the snow. And then she invited me inside, and I'd met her parents a couple of times before, and her mum pulled me to the side, and she was like, I'd love it if you two got married. And I was like, oh, amazing, yes, amazing, I've got the mum's permission. And then we went to her room, and I was like, whoa. And then we kissed, and like fairly passionately, nothing else happened. And then we just fell apart, went in completely different circles. She got another boyfriend like 2-3 months after. I think I got my first girlfriend when I was in year 10, so like right at the start of year 10, maybe. And then, here's where the story ends, okay, so she moved to like near where I was living when I was in Overload. She went to uni down here, and we'd just got our standing ovation at Wembley. Messaged her saying I've just done X Factor, and she was like, oh, that's amazing, I always knew you'd do well in music, and she was very supportive as a person. I was like, if you're around, let's meet up. She was like, yeah, that'd be lovely, I'm going for drinks here, come and join us. And I went to join her. I took one of my female friends, because I'd have presumed nothing would happen. And when we got there, it seemed as though she was annoyed that I'd brought a girl. We spent a lot of the time chatting. And catching up and finding out what she was up to with her life. And then I stayed downstairs in their house's living room. And one of my biggest regrets to this day was taking a girl to see my childhood sweetheart and thinking that it was okay. Even though in my head it's fine to have female friends, to her it was probably disrespectful. And that's the last I ever saw her, the last I ever heard from her. It's sad, I've tried to reach out a couple of times just to see how she is, just on a friendship level now. Like, we've both definitely, moved on with our lives. She could be married for all I know. But that's it. So that was the story of my first kiss and the girl of my first kiss. And I probably loved her from the day I laid eyes on her until probably the first year of college, where we were in completely different friendship groups. She had her friendship group. I went to a few house parties held at her house and stuff. Would get ready with her. Kind of fell into the proper friend zone in college. I had a girlfriend throughout college. But she is part of the reason I got the aging superhero in me is tired, because when I was at my lowest point in life, and I was running out of college classes, like crying and not being able to face the day, there was one time when we were doing French and she ran out after me and she asked the teacher if it was okay. And she just sat with me and she just caressed my head. She played the aging superhero because she knew it was my favourite Newton Fulton song. She just sat with me, and it must have been for an hour, playing that song over and over again, not saying anything. I just was crying my eyes out into a laugh. She was just stroking my head. I was like, I just don't feel anything, and it's so painful. And she was like, you don't need to talk. If you want to talk, you can, but you don't need to. We sat there in silence, and I just went, I just can't remember what it's like to love or be loved. And she went, you are loved. And those words kind of made that song that bit more prominent in my head. So that song is like, it's at the bottom of my body. So it's the lowest point to the ground, which in turn means it's the lowest point. And it's there so I can look down on those events and be like, I'm not there anymore. But that happened. And that song and that girl probably saved my life that day. So I was in a really rough place. And from then on, I've just constantly been improving and self-bettering myself. And there you go. That's just part of growing up, isn't it? Like, since college, I think I've had 3 long-term girlfriends, and that girl hasn't even entered my mind once. I'm positive I haven't entered hers, and that's fine. People grow apart. I had a best friend all through primary school, and majority way through secondary school, and then halfway through, we just went our different paths, just fell into different friendship groups. And by college, we barely spoke to each other. People just grow apart. I never thought I'd grow apart from her, but I did. And she still has the same friendship group that she went to college with, and she seems very happy. As far as I'm aware, like, I haven't checked up or in on her in a good few years. And that's fine. Rise a twink with an I'm very rich. Thank you for sharing that. Love you endlessly, bro. No worries, Noah. I feel like when I share little snippets of my past, you guys will only know me as Andy from Roadtrip, but there is an Andy Fowler, and even before that, an Andrew Fowler that existed. So, like, I think it's when I share stories of my past from before I was in the band, it just humanises me a bit more to you guys, I think. Sabrina220892, found you on YouTube, your cover of Too Much to Ask. Oh, amazing, we haven't met yet. Sabrina, I want to meet, for sure. First boy kiss, probably college time. I think my friend came out as bisexual. I was super proud of him. I went to Scouts with him. And we were just at his house. There was loads of us. I was just like, I'll kiss you. Because I loved him like a brother. And I was like, I'll do that for you, no problem. He was like, you sure? I was like, yeah. Like, you don't want your first kiss with a guy you like to be rubbish, so you may as well like practice on someone. And he was like, but you're straight. I was like, oh no, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter to me. So I just kissed him, and that's it. Still a really good friend of mine to this day. I would have loved to have been there to tell you that you're so much loved, you're so special. Thank you, Martina. Everyone was like, oh, you're making me cry about my first kiss with a girl, my first kiss with a guy. Everyone was like, ha ha ha. Stushby loves you endlessly. I love you too, Stushby. You make me happy. You make me happy too. Thank you. Rye left the chat. Rye's kissed loads of people, hasn't he? Rye broke something. Yeah, I saw a load of those comments, but I was in my zone. I was in my feels, you know. Everyone's like saying like, oh, you're so loved, please remember that, and I appreciate that, but I'm actually in a very good place, and I have been for a very long time. I feel very self-assured, feel very confident, feel very happy in my skin and in my morals, constantly preaching in what I believe in because I believe it's right. I'm good. I haven't been in a bad place in years, genuinely years. You do not need to worry about me. It is my job to worry about you guys. So there you go. Last kiss story. God knows. Too long. Everyone's literally like, when was your first kiss with Rye? Ugh. I care about you so much, it's hard not to worry. I appreciate that. And thank you very much. You don't need to worry about me though. People are asking for another story. You're more than welcome to ask for another story. At 2,000 people, I'm going to do another contributor competition. And I'll tell you another story. You can ask me anything and I'll be honest with it. Someone just asked, do you still speak to Mikey? Yes, I do. Leah Rolson, me and Court love you with all of our heart. P.S. Courtney Blake fancies you. Thank you, Courtney. Much love. I can't whistle. Oh, you just put your lips together and blow. Cardi can sing even when he can't sing. Oh, whistling's not singing, is it? Have you heard Becky G's most recent song? I haven't, but I'd love to. First time you sang in front of a crowd. Good question. I was doing a charity show. Your story of joining and leaving Overload. I was Harvey's guitarist. Blair managed Harvey, Blair managed Overload. He asked me to join. You right, mate? You get your old blower, mate. You blower. Always. He asked me to join because they were a 4-piece. I joined. We did X Factor. It didn't work out. Ended. There you go. Your first time with a boy. I have never had a sexual encounter with a male. There you go. Do you think Roadtrip will ever split up? Eventually. Not for a while. But every band comes to an end eventually. I hope it doesn't, but I'm sure it will. And then there'll be a reunion, I'm sure. Roadtrip will never really be over. It'll just be that the 5 of us don't live together and create music together, but that won't be for a while. First heartbreak. I think I just described it pretty well. No, actually, it was a girl in primary school. That moved away when I was in year 5, and I spent year 3 and 4 not fancying her. My mum gave her me a little brooch to give to her because we had a date like a couple of days before she moved. And that hurt. My God, the comments are so horny. Kiss, Rye. When was your first time with Rye? Bloody hell. Glazed Wyatt. VM for Cloudy Fovs, Loving Fovs, and See on the Flip Side Fovs. Mel loves you. What is going on, Cloudy Fovs, Loving Fovs, and See on the Flip Side Fovs? Thank you so much, you 3, for all of your love and for, having my name in your name. That's pretty great. Thank you. And love you too, Mel. Advice on getting over someone you love. Don't. Don't get over them. Fight for them. Not to the point where you put yourself in an embarrassing situation. And obviously if they're in a situation already with someone else, be respectful, stay back, be patient. But love can wait. That is my advice. First impression of the boys. Fantastic question. Rye, didn't like him at all. Thought he was rude, thought he was abrasive, but I saw really good potential in him. And then after about 2 weeks, I understood him. And we've been really close ever since. Brooke, probably the nicest kid, the most innocent, didn't swear, didn't know a great deal about life, but just super nice and super friendly to everyone. Like you wanted to look after him like a puppy. Mikey, one of the funniest guys I've ever met. Really funny to be around. We got each other. We were both big fans of football. We were both comedy genii. Both shared similar interests, like watched similar shows and stuff like that. So just a top mate. Jack, incredibly raw in terms of his talent, needed honing in, but you could tell there was an exceptional amount of talent there. Really interesting character, someone that I'd not really come across at all, but savvy and life smart, but chilled out at the same time. And Sonny, It's a while ago. When I first met Sonny, we weren't actually that close. There's another boy in the band that, like, they were like the Randy of Overload, like another guy and Sonny. I was really good mates with another guy before Overload, but towards the end of Overload, myself and Sonny became like really close because he's quite smart and quite driven, and we both saw things that the others didn't, and we were like really confident that they would happen because we had a good mindset, and we worked together really well. We were never, like, I'd stay around at his house for months on end, like really cool with his family. He's really cool with mine. Just like a proper mate. We don't necessarily have a great laugh together, and we're proper nasty to each other. We're just like, but I know that him coming into this band, my job as a mate was to let him be mates with the others. And that one day we'll just be really close again. And I can't wait for it, because I'm nasty to him in a minute, just to, keep him in his place. How was it growing up in the UK? Great. I loved it. Other than the weather, because now I'm just pale. It's cool. First time you knew you wanted to be a singer? Well, I wanted to be a guitarist when I first heard Busted. I loved Busted growing up. I thought they were sick. I thought they were really cool, and I wanted to play guitar just like them. And the guitar teacher I got didn't teach me any chords, just taught me a load of finger picking patterns and stuff, which is why I'm quite, technical with my guitar now. As a singer, my mum's told me this story. When I was really young, like Bar Bar Black Sheep was on a cassette player. I was singing along to it, and I remember my mum said that my granddad said when he heard me, he was like, "Crikey, he can hold a tune." And my mum was like, "Oh God, no." And I always used to sing along to stuff in the car and stuff like that. When I was in high school, I did Good Riddance by Green Day, Time of Your Life. Played it on the guitar and sang along with it in the talent show. And then, at the end of high school, my mum and I went out for a meal, and the pub next door was doing karaoke. I told my mum when I was like 14, 15, I wanted to be a pop star, and she was like, "Well, let's make it happen." I'm massively supportive. And there was karaoke next door, and these couple of guys were just like dominating it, doing every single song. And she was like, "You want to be a pop star? Go and do karaoke. Like, you can't go your whole life without performing in front of a proper crowd singing." I was like, "Okay." And I did Superstition by Stevie Wonder. And the whole pub got up, and one of the guys that had been dominating karaoke before took his hat off and went around the pub and started collecting money. They gave it to me. I was like, "No, I don't want it. And Mum came up to me and she was like, "I believe you now." I was like, "What do you mean?" She went, "I believe that you can do this properly." I was like, "I told you." And we always remind each other of that whenever we see each other. How do you know when you're in love? Controversial, this one, because I think love is subject to opinion. I think I've been in love, and I think that love is when you are equally as happy with or without that person. So if they're away, you miss them with your whole heart, but you're happy you've got your own space, you're happy they've got theirs, you're happy they're living their life, you're happy you can live yours, and there's those few days or few hours where there isn't that dependency on the person, and because you look forward to missing them and seeing them. And then once you're with them, you can tell them about your day, tell them how much you've missed them. You want to hear about their day, and you want to hear what they've been up to, whilst they've been apart from you. I think when you miss someone so much that it affects your day, you're too dependent on a person. And if you look forward to being without someone too much, it means that you don't want to be around them. I think love It's that perfect balance of the both, where you are as happy with or without them, because that means that they are a bonus to your life regardless, and it's like they're a part of you. Lying in bed watching your live and realising how much I love and appreciate you. Thank you, Jess Fowler. Were you in love with the boy? No. How'd you get into music production? I really didn't. I've tried to watch a few producers work and take tips from them, but it all comes from having a knowledge of music and songwriting. Hey, can I have a VM please? Love you. From Alice_Andy's Alright X. Hi Alice, this is Andy from Roadtrip. I'm glad you think I'm alright. Love you. See you soon. You make me so happy, from Amy. Thank you, Amy. Much love. Why are you alone now? Jack and Sonny are with Sonny's family, and Brooke and Rye are building, as far as I'm aware. Advice on frustrating siblings? Don't know, I don't have any siblings, but I imagine this is what it's like living with Brooke and Jack, and that's just enjoy your alone time and be patient. First impression of Harvey, mega talented. One of the most talented young boys at the time I'd ever met in my life. Yeah, I came in as his guitarist and they wanted me to learn one of his songs really quickly, or see how long it took me to learn it. It took me 30 seconds, and he was like, he'd not really been in the music industry that long. He watched me learn it and he was like amazed. And then I heard him sing it live and I was like, I'm massively impressed. I think there was a mutual level of respect from that point on. Nowadays we just rip into each other. Like in his head he far supersedes me as a singer, which is fine, I'll let him think that. But like, we write songs together. Like there's just from my part to his, there's a massive amount of respect for how well his career's doing, and I couldn't wish it on a better person other than the four I share a band with. Best worst things about each boy. Okay. Rye, best thing is his like drive, his determination, his like mentality towards getting stuff done. Like this is my idea, I want to do it, I'm gonna do it, and he does it. Like, he won't be stopped. Shannon Curry 16, you make me the happiest and you do so much for me without even knowing it. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate your kind words.